Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Community Chats. My name is Anthony Saracusa, the Director of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi, and I am joined, as I almost always am, by my two colleagues, Dr. Jody Holland and Aaron Picer-Oath. And as you know, these are regular conversations with people in the Lafayette-Oxford University community working hard to make a difference, a positive difference in our region. Would you like to be interviewed on the show, or do you know somebody that should? Send us a note at engaged@oldemiss.edu or connect with us directly on Facebook. As always, I'd like to share this is a joint initiative with our friends at the Lafayette-Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow, and I want to encourage all of our listeners to go to the Loft website and check out the amazing videos that our nonprofit leaders recorded for this year's Night for Nonprofits. Today, we have the distinct honor of having with us such a wonderful person who is doing incredible work at the intersection between our campus and community. Ms. Kynnedi Taylor-Henri is here today to talk a little bit about the Voting Ambassadors Program. And Kynnedi, we are so delighted that you've joined us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I'm so glad to be on the show.
Fantastic. Well, let's get right to it. We want this to be mostly your time here. And let's get started by having you share a little bit about where you grew up and how did you end up here in the Oxford LOU community?
So I grew up in Madison, Mississippi, as well as Northeast Jackson. And I ended up in Oxford because as I was looking for public policy programs, the University of Mississippi was one of the very few universities in the South that offered the degree in public policy. And that is how I ended up in Oxford and Lafayette County.
Excellent, Kynnedi.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Kynnedi, excellent. It's great to see you. Yes, and you're one of our great leaders in our program, and it's good to see you making an impact in the community. I want you to tell the viewers really how you got involved with this voting engagement efforts, and tell us a little bit about the leadership position you're in.
Absolutely. So I got involved with voter engagement in the community by joining the League of Women Voters in Lafayette County and North Mississippi. And through my involvement in the League of Women Voters, our president welcomed me into the Voter Engagement Roundtable. And that was how I met Anthony and Aaron. And we started talking about ideas on how to get students engaged in civics and involved and passionate about voting. And that was how we started moving forward. It started with an idea.
Good, thanks.
An idea that you have brought to fruition in a new program that will launch this fall, the Voting Ambassadors Program. So will you just tell everyone listening a little bit about the mission of the Voting Ambassadors Program and what the plan is going into the fall semester?
Yes. So the mission for the Voter Ambassador Program for UN Votes is to simply engage students and get them passionate about their voting rights, helping them to understand how to exercise their voting rights, the importance of voting, how to vote absentee, and just any general question that they might have about the voting process. It's really simply made to make voting so much easier for young adults and to really get them out and get active, especially within the next few years that we have.
Well, Kynnedi, I know there's a voting roundtable that you're a part of, and there's a group effort that's going on to support this. So talk a little bit about the group and the various roles and the many people it's going to take to do this work.
Absolutely. So the Voter Engagement Roundtable has been so helpful to get the Voter Ambassador Program really off the ground and running. We have Carissa, we have Aaron, of course, and Dr. Siracusa that's really helping us kind of set the functions. And what we've done so far is we've reached out to the Andrew Goodman Foundation, the two students who are on campus that are really taking the lead on that. They're going to help us with making sure that we know how to reach out to students via social media and just networking. And then we also have some of our voter ambassadors that have been selected for this fall semester that are going to help register students to vote, also talking to students in their residence halls and answering any questions there. And then we have developed a text messaging system, thanks to Carissa, that will enable students to quickly text and ask any question that they have about the voting process, and we can get back to them immediately. And so it's really just designed to be kind of that hands-on experience, even though we're in the midst of COVID, and just helping students through the voting process. And so everybody's been so helpful on campus and then in the division of community engagement.
Well, Kenny, you talked a little bit about, just then about some of the activities they're doing. Are there some greater programs or initiatives that the efforts are going to be a part of this fall as you develop it?
Well, we're kind of trying to operate around COVID. So a lot of the things that we've had planned, we had to dial back on. But one of the initiatives that we have stuck with is the debate watch. And so what we're going to do is have a big debate watch online via Zoom, and it's going to be for the election, and we're just going to watch the election results, kind of have like a chat going on. And of course, it'll be nonpartisan. We are welcoming every political ideology that there is on campus. We want students to feel open and comfortable with expressing any questions that they might have. And so we've also partnered with the Andrew Gutman Foundation and just have been reaching out to like the social work department and getting students and professors involved there as well.
Great.
So Kynnedi, you have been involved in this work since really the Roundtable started and since its inception, and then really taking the lead and building out this Voting Ambassadors program. What are some of the challenges that you've experienced in doing this work?
Well, some of the challenges that come along with this work is getting that passion riled up in students, young adults even, so much so they see kind of the world is just telling them that their vote doesn't matter. And a lot of young adults are believing this. And so the challenge comes in reminding them and showing them that their vote matters, that their vote is their voice. And the best way to express their voice in this democracy is through voting. And I would probably say that's going to be the greatest challenge even moving forward, is just continuing to push that reminder.
Well, Kynnedi, I mean, that challenge in some ways kind of a perennial challenge, one that so many folks struggle with as they try to get more engagement among young people. But that's balanced out, I imagine, with some rewards in doing this work. And so what kind of rewards have you experienced as you've carried forward this important work?
Well, the rewards have been seeing that people respond once you kind of tell them how much it matters and how their vote really makes an impact. The expression of their face is like, wow, I've been missing this the whole time. I haven't understood this process the whole time. And you mean to tell me that this is what happens, that this is how my voice is heard? It's just seeing the expression and seeing the young adult take that passion on, and then they go out and tell their friends, they go out and tell their parents, they go out and tell their communities that, hey, your vote really does matter. It really is your voice. And so it's just spreading that message. And when you hit one person, that one person hits many people. And so that is probably the biggest reward.
Kynnedi, you've always been someone who can really corral a bunch of people into an initiative. I even used it as an example in my class today, things you did when you first got here. I want to know, like, a message for the community. How can they get involved? People on campus, what can they do to contribute to your work?
Well, the best way to contribute to this work is, number one, reaching out to the UN Votes organization on campus. We have so many materials that we can give you as far as helping you to fill out the voter absentee ballot, also helping you to fill out the voter registration form. And you can even call and we'll walk you through that. There are several other things like the League of Women Voters in the community. We have the Andrew Gutman Foundation that's also on campus that will help. And I mean, really anything that you need, we have. So if you could just reach out to any one of us, we can give you those materials.
That's great.
And okay.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say a good way to really get active and get involved is once you get those materials, walking other people through in your community with it. And then we're also experiencing a shortage of poll workers. So if you want to reach out to your clerk's office and say, hey, you know, I have PPE or I need PPE, and if I can get PPE, I will become a poll worker and do it as often as you need it. That would be a great service to the community.
Great.
Those are great suggestions, Kynnedi. So now we call this our 1 minute moment. And if you have 1 minute to share with our audience, campus and broader community, what one message would you most want to communicate to them?
The one message I would want to communicate to the community is that your vote is your voice. It can be a bit of a tongue twister. Getting out there and voting is the best way to make your voice heard. It is not Instagram, it is not Facebook, it is not Twitter. While the world will see your comments, and even just a small portion of your community will see those comments, it will not make a big difference in any election that you have going on in your community, but especially the presidential campaign. Regardless of your political ideology, the best way to express your opinion, your ideology, the things that you are passionate about in America is by getting out and voting. That is what makes our democracy work, and it will make our democracy continue to work, and it will further the success of our democracy.
Wow, Kynnedi, what a powerful message. What an amazing scope of work you've undertaken for our campus and for our community. And in a truly momentous moment in the life of our nation and in the life of our local community. Thank you for promoting voting engagement among young people. Thank you for bringing that civic spirit into everything that you do. Your passion for this work, I'm sure, is critical to the success that you have had. And on behalf of our office and on behalf of the whole campus community, thank you, because we need people doing this important work in this moment. And we're so glad you joined us to talk about it today on Community Chats.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And to all of our listeners, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we're on Spotify. We have a lot of different ways you can connect with us. So please share this feed, like it, comment on it, raise up the important work that Kynnedi's doing, and stay engaged, stay safe. We'll see you next time on Community Chats.